Lady, welcome to this video, and today you're going to learn the three-phase pathway to a rebound-free weight loss. So basically, how you're getting to slim down for good in 90 days and keep it off forever. If you're here today, chances are your life is good, yet the thing that you haven't been able to yet figure out is how to fix the outside look. So whatever the situation look like, your life looks pretty much successful, your career is good, your relationships are good, yet the worth is dictated by the way you look outside. In other words, you haven't yet been able to build a body that matches the identity you are outside. It's like being trapped inside a body that is not yours. And if that has been the case, chances are you had these things happening to you before, getting compliments, not really realizing if people pay you compliments just to make you feel good or if they actually mean it. You've been stuck into watching other people wearing dresses that you want to be wearing and yet asking yourself if you're ever going to be able to wear that, until you've been stuck into always looking for something to do such that you can fix that. And obviously you've been told a bunch of stuff, mostly by the fitness industry and the weight loss industry. You've been told that there is a diet, a protocol, something that you need to follow, which basically is setting you up to fail. And today we're going to look at why, and also we're going to look at the protocol we invented and that was able to move 500 plus lady, getting them to end the diet mentality, getting them in shape for the very first time, getting to maintain real life changes. And so how this system works is pretty much simple. There are three phases that you need to know and master if you want to go from a comfort eating, from a yo-yo dieter, whether the situation of your life is, into the rebound free weight loss high value lady you dream to become. And the reason why you've been failing until today is very simple. Number one, you haven't gotten clear. You haven't overcome what I like to call analysis paralysis. We're going to dive deep into what this is in a little bit later. Secondly, you haven't got the right coaching. You haven't built the skills you need to build such that you can build a body that you love. Thirdly, you haven't understand that it's not only a game of learning things and applying things, but it's also a game of commitment. It's a game of habits, and it's a game of maintaining the life that you need to build the woman that you want to become. Phase number one is really about getting clarity. So understanding, first and foremost, your number and metrics you need to understand about your body such that you can operate from a place of facts rather than feelings. Number two, you need to stop getting lied to with unrealistic expectation and understand what your genetics and your real expectation about your bodies are. And number three is about understanding what you need to track and how you need to track, such that you can stop looking at those measures that keep you up at night, yet they're not important, and instead look at what really gives you certainty. If you haven't gotten clear until today, you probably got into this place of being frustrated, to be unsure on a daily basis, battling with the scales at every single day. So you need to go from that place to totally getting sharp from your life, rooted from certainty about the action plan you need to operate on a daily basis. So if you're battling with your scale on a daily basis, chances are you're failing to look the real measures here, right? You're looking at the weight, which is yes, one measure, but you haven't gotten into the habits on actually getting measures from your body, to actually taking picture, to understand if you're actually improving. And like I said before, the fitness and weight loss industry is setting you up to fail on a daily basis. You go on Instagram, you go on social media, you get hammered every single day with this expectation that potentially you could get, and those just make you feel bad about yourself. And it makes you feel like if you don't get this expectation, you're simply not a worth human being. So ultimately, not understanding that weight can change even 5 times on a weekly basis on a life of a lady, this doesn't set the fundamental for you to be able to do anything long term, and ultimately makes you quit. So what you have to do instead, you need to operate in this place of understanding where you start from and where you need to go. Here you're gonna see a bunch of pictures and you can pretty much eyeball where you're starting from, and you can eyeball when you wanna get. When you understand that, then it's all a game of understanding the track and measurements you need to get, such that we can operate on making you go closer to your results on a weekly basis. And in order for you to be able to get anywhere in life, specifically in fitness, you need to understand that you're gonna need to track and measure. You need to start from your mind. You need to understand your story, your limiting belief, your poor patterns, your dependency both on food and bad habits on your life, and you need to start operating on really assessing and getting better on those things on a daily basis. So what are your stories? What are your poor patterns? What are your dependencies? You need to get clear on that. How is your environment? Who is holding you back? What is holding you back? Do you buy those food that you know you shouldn't be buying, right? And of course, last but not least, the body. You need to, as we said before, you need real parameters, not just weight. You need body measurements, you need blood work, you need fat percentage, you need to understand how your metabolism works, assessing your mood, sleep, hunger, and energy such that you can understand at least if you're going on the right path. Until right now, so all this measuring your body, getting your weight, understanding your blood work and everything, those are what I like to call light measure, or measure that keeps you up at night, right? That you're looking into every single time you take your weight on a weekly basis, and some of you on a daily basis. And if that weight doesn't reflect your efforts, then you quit. You need to stop operating on those light measures, those unimportant measures, and start operating on the important measures. The important measures are the measure that says that if you set yourself up to create habits, if you know that you need to work out and you make a deal with yourself and you say, I'm going to work out a few times a week and I'm going to meal prep for the whole week, I'm going to cook my food, I'm going to eat well, I'm going to see how many times I sleep well in the week, I'm going to see how many cheat meals I have in the week. So those are the important measures, because if you improve this on a weekly basis, and some of you even on a daily basis, then the weight loss is consequential. So everything you want to see on the mirror will come just for you doing the right things, the right habits, right? And of course, why people fail all the time in this is because they go on the hedonic point of life, right? They go on this idea that pleasure comes first, right? So if I see a cupcake, I know I shouldn't be eating, but I'm gonna eat it anyway because I know this is gonna spike my brain for positive outcome for 10 minutes. It's gonna make me feel happy for those 10 minutes, even though I know that after 10 minutes I feel sad. Right? So you need to start seeing life at a eudaimonic point of view, meaning like you need to see fulfillment in life, creating bases and fundamentals to set yourself up to win. So you're not gonna eat the cupcake, for example, even though it's not gonna give you 10 minutes of pleasure, but not eating that and repeating that for a week or for a month, you know that overall is gonna create the weight loss that ultimately is what you wanna achieve. When you get clear on the facts on your body, it's all about getting clear on how to build skills. Most of you, in fact, are being tricked to believe that as long as you follow a diet for a month, you can actually lose weight. So what's gonna happen is you're gonna lose weight, but you're not gonna sustain it. And why? Because you have not understood that building skills into nutrition and into exercise and movement is what you need to be able to build the body that you love. So the coaching component is really made up of three main phases. Number one, understanding food awareness and going from mindless eating into food aware, knowing everything you need to know about nutrition that funnily enough is not that much that you feel like you need. Secondly, is about applying a strategy, so to creating sustainable eating, going from extreme dieting to flexible nutrition. And thirdly, it's really about building a body that can make you go from living your life to loving your life. So mastering this phase is gonna make you go from having a body with low self-esteem, just getting by, lack of confidence, to be able to build the skin you're loving to be in every single day. And it starts with understanding the first mistake you're making, which is usually lack of food awareness. This is just an extra bite, it won't hurt, right? Which is basically mindless snacking. You don't understand whether it's cookies or banana. When you have 150 calories extra than you need, at the end of the month, equals to about 10 cheeseburgers, which equals to about a kilo of fat. And this usually comes in different forms. I've been good during the week, now I can cheat during the weekend, I can have this extra meal. Or thinking that you're actually eating 1200 calories. Let's say you determined you need 1200 calories and then instead you're eating 2000 because you forget the extra oil you have in the salad or the extra soda you haven't factored into your calories. And those kind of mind tricks makes you get into the third mistakes. The starvation paradigm, right? Cutting off food groups, going to diets that ultimately you cannot sustain because this is not something you can do for long term. And this comes in every single diet, okay? Keto, paleo, vegetarian, vegan, whatever the fad is, if you take off food or food groups and don't understand the context behind it, you will set yourself up to fail. So you literally think that there is something magical into one of these diets, not understanding that it comes down to physiology and biology, and understand that you need to create a sustainable calorie deficit if you want to be able to sustain diet for good. And it's literally as simple as that. You have a maintenance calorie level with, let's say, technically is 2000 calories. You need to create a 300 to 500 calorie deficit, which come in a form of eating less or working out or doing both at the same time. What diet do instead is making you go onto 1000 calorie deficit cut, which you can sustain for about a week, and then your body shuts down. You lose weight technically for a little bit, then you get really hungry, your hormones lowers down, your metabolism lowers down, and what happens into your physiology is that you start binging, But right now, what in 2000 calories before was your maintenance level is now surplus. And every single time you start eating, you're getting back more weight that you started with. This is basically how weight loss works. So should you be able to sustain a sustainable calorie deficit for very long, you would see results. And some of you might even have known that, yet you don't understand how to perform that. You don't understand why do we eat and why do we struggle so much with food. It comes down to biology and physiology and evolution, okay? There is taste, we're eating for taste, and we're eating for hunger, okay? If we eat too low of taste, very bland, very clean, you heard that before, I want to eat healthy, I want to eat clean, you soon gonna find yourself in a place that you cannot sustain that because it becomes boring, it becomes monotone, you don't give to your body this palatable taste desire that it needs sometimes, and you find yourself every single time not sticking to a diet. You need to cheat, you need a cheat meal, you need something sweet, and this has nothing to do with what you have been told until today. You're not broken, you don't have a bad metabolism, you don't have a bad genetics or a genetics that you're addicted to sugar or to food. It's simply biology and physiology. Your brain doesn't get triggered to ever be happy, and therefore is making you stop your diet. If you eat too tasty instead, by nature you have to eat high palatable food, which are high in calories, high in fat, and high in sugar. And that, yes, this physiologically tricks your brain to produce more hormone like ghrelin and get your leptin to be higher, and therefore it's gonna make you binge. Okay, so what you need to do instead, you need to find a common ground, and you need to understand to kind of find a way to eat low dense calorie food, high in taste, that we will see about later, that will make you successful, feel like you're not in a diet. On the same way, you need to understand that you cannot be starving and you cannot be stuffed. You need to be satisfied at every single point, which is basically in between full and hungry, okay? So you will learn in a little bit how do we make this happen. And what this translates to is literally be able to eat amazing stuff. Pancake for breakfast, French toast, be able to eat pizzas and pastas, be able to eat anything that you really like for dinner, and even, yes, even desserts. You're probably watching this and you say, come on, this cannot be real, right? And I can tell you that it's simply being able to get recipes, right? And cook these things, switching off ingredients on a healthier way, using sweeteners instead of sugar, swapping off ingredients so that you can make low calorie dense options. And it's really about understanding what is high volume, low calories, high fulfilling food, such that you don't feel like you're in a diet. It's really like being on having cheat meals after cheat meals, yet you're still getting results because you're still under your calorie maintenance. The second part of building the body you want is really understand that there is not an exercise that burns fat. The only way for burn fat is really getting liposuction, and of course, I would never suggest you do that. You need to understand that there is not a specific workout protocol, and you need to understand that there is not a specific diet protocol, but there are two trajectories. There are the trajectory of understanding that you're going to need to weight train and you're going to need to move, and you need to perform this weight and cardio movements such that you're able to get better this at over time, and you're able to get your nutritional habits to get better. And of course, that comes with the psychological trajectories. This idea that you are the only limit of yourself. You say this to yourself all the time. I have no time, I'm stressed, my body's not reacting, I need to go to a vacation. So you always this on and off switch that you need to stop live by, and you really need to start building real habits and real consistency. There are workouts you need to build as a skill such that you can tone your body. And this will come into a blend of weight training with progression and some sort of cardio that you enjoy doing that you can sustain over time and that you can get better at on a single day, on a single week. The third phase is really about commitment. This is the most important part on a woman's life that they never understand. It's really always about getting to the body you want and then reverting back to what you were doing before. You cannot do that. You need to understand that commitment and being committed to yourself is the first part of making you go of changing your identity from sporadic to habitual. It's understanding that you're going to need to understand how your metabolism works and how and what you need to do when you encounter an obstacle and a plateau, and really understand that you evolve your mindset such that you can go from an average mindset to a high value laden mindset. This is literally meaning to change the overall identity to match the body that you're building. There is no way, if you have 10, 20, 30 kilo overweight, that by you losing that weight and not changing your identity frame, you're gonna be able to sustain it. And isn't it bad that you're getting results, you're touching results, you're getting success, and then you're reverting back like before? In this phase, you're gonna get the support and the accountability from us, from the coaches, for you to be able to make this happen into your life until you're able to keep this lifestyle automation, turning you into this high value lady, which is basically an identity makeover. So this phase is about envisioning lifestyle automation. So how do we go from building motivation, getting motivation, which is amazing in the beginning, but then as results slowing down, you lose motivation and motivation dies, to instead building habits, which is very hard in the beginning, but what you do when you start building habits is something you get for the rest of your life, right? So it's really about, first and foremost, understanding that you're still in track, understanding how metabolism works, understanding what you need to do, and understanding that the strategy you're using is the right one. So how does the metabolism work? I've been asked this 1,000 times. Most people believe there is a calculator, calories in, calories out. Some people believe that it's basically like a chemistry set. Calorie doesn't count as long as you eat a bunch of healthy fats, you're gonna be getting results. These are the keto people usually, right? They eat a bunch of avocado, a bunch of fats, and they don't count any calories. And they feel like the body is a chemistry lab, right? So we don't calculate, we burn, we metabolize. And basically how these both approaches are wrong is because it's something more close to a thermostat. It's about stress, it's about feedback, it's about seeing your metabolism like a thermostat. So there are gonna be times that your metabolism is gonna go quote unquote faster, and then it slows down based on the stimuli that you give. So on a real sense, it's really about understanding that the BMR, the basal metabolism rate, which is about 20-25% of your total daily need, is the one that more or less it will never change. The one thing that you can really impact on a daily basis is the other three. Is the NEAT, non-exercise activity thermogenesis, which basically means how much you move, how much you walk, how much active you are. Is the TEF, which is basically the thermogenic effect of food, which is calorie burn that you will get from the food ingestion, which is basically why you heard about eating protein is better than the carbs and fat, because protein thermogenic effect of food is a little bit higher. And then, of course, the exercise thermogenesis, which is basically how much exercise you actually do. If you can see here, the two on top is about 5%. Okay, so the really big difference is how much you're gonna move on a daily basis, and is understanding that this is hard is not only science. Okay, it means that you're gonna need to optimize, you're gonna need to get better at stuff, and like I said before, you need to apply the skills that you're building. When it comes to metabolism, instead of going and taking a bunch of tests and labs and all that, like, you know, how many people take this excuse that they have a bad thyroid, that they have menopause or whatever the case is, and they need to get tested and need to take medicine, the easier way to have a responsive metabolism and see if you're on track and see if your weight loss is actually happening is really rating stuff into your life. Like I said before, the habitual measure that you need to take. So basically it's understanding that you need to rate your sleep, your hunger, your mood, and your overall energy, such that you can see improvement on a daily basis. And of course the big part here, to switch your mindset and to build this identity you need to build, is really getting yourself out to the comfort zone and going into the growth zone as many times as you can. You've been stuck into the safe zone, into this fear zone all the time, and you don't allow yourself to get out of that zone. Thus, you're not building the vision you need to build. And without a vision, you have zero purpose, okay? And why this is important for your maintenance and finally understand how to maintain results is because of the compound effect of action and time, which basically is how you see overall results. And as you can see from this graph shows you exactly that in the beginning you put a lot of energy in and then you get little results. If you go from this game of putting always a lot of energy in and not seeing results, you usually don't perform this action from a long enough time for you to be able to see the rewards, right? So if instead you build habits and you don't really care whether or not you're getting results, but you know that you're using the right strategy and therefore you know that you're gonna eventually get the results anyhow if you keep doing that, and this translates to build a new identity where you perform actions every single day, yet in a month, 2 months, 3 months, for some of you even 6 months, you're gonna see the results that you perform from day one. This is why your body reacts in months and in years, and that means that even though you're making a mistake today, you can still fix it without having this idea that you need to starve yourself, that you need to go on a diet, or you need to do something extreme to see results. And how we're gonna make this happen is simple. I will help over 500 ladies before today, right? Keeping you accountable, giving you supports with calls, switching your overall mindset to actually building habit and see fitness as a reward, and gaining real life changes without you even realize it. As you can see some of the ladies here, this is real life change that you cannot trick or fake. So today you should have understood what really takes to have a visual change and to have a lifestyle change, getting in shape for the very first time in 90 days or less. If you feel like this could be an approach for you, I have something really special for you today. And this basically is the first mission of the Second Chance program. And this was the program that gave 500 plus ladies success, as you saw before. So if you haven't yet filled a form, I would like you to fill one of the forms for the 10 spots for this month to get a chat with myself or one of my coaches to make sure we understand how to build a successful game plan for you. And if you did already fill that out and you're being accepted into one of the chats, I want you to confirm with me that you watched this video, because this is going to clarify exactly, this is going to give me clarity that you understood how this works and why we were able to give so many ladies results before today. This is Coach Jerry here. I see you on the other side. Talk to you soon.